All right, so the California recall election is going on right now. Larry Elder, a very fringe libertarian host who is not mainstream at all, is somehow leading the polls to replace Gavin Newsom if he is to be recalled. It's very shocking. But ballots have gotten sent out. I got my ballot probably like a week, maybe even more than a week ago. I turned it in a couple days later. I personally voted no on the recall, obviously. But I didn't fill out anybody on the replacement spot because not only was it what everybody was saying to do in terms of Gavin and the California Democratic Party and stuff like that, but if you actually see the ballot, there's like 5 trillion candidates on there. And so not only is it at that point that it's like, I don't even know who these people are. Like, the big Democrat was like Kevin Paffrath, and he's like some douchebag, like landlord who like lies to his tenants, and he says a JFK style Democrat. JFK was very progressive, by the way, so he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. So I'm not voting for that douchebag. But all the other people are mostly Republicans, and like you could vote for like a random candidate, but A, you probably don't know what they stand for, and then B, what's the chance they actually win? Like, this is going to be an extreme plurality thing, so it just kind of seemed like a waste of time. And I think that I know that the plan of the Gavin Newsom campaign, what they're trying to do is they're saying just vote no on the recall, don't vote for anybody else in a replacement. And that seems to be because when Gray Davis was recalled, Bustamante, his lieutenant governor, ran to be his replacement, and that ended up confusing voters who actually didn't like Gray Davis and wanted Bustamante. They voted yes on the recall and then voted for him, for Bustamante. So this is the right strategy, in my opinion. Definitely seems to hold out. But this article says, growing scrutiny over Elder Royals California recall election. There's a flood of scrutiny over conservative radio host Larry Elder's California gubernatorial recall bid over past conduct and controversial remarks is giving Republicans headaches and Democrats hope in the surprisingly close contest. Elder, who boasts broad name recognition from his radio career, burst into the race in July, becoming a leading contender among the candidates seeking to replace Governor Gavin Newsom if he gets booted. But allegations that he brandished a gun at his ex-fiancée and made offensive remarks about women are threatening to derail Republican efforts to oust Newsom and could end up providing a lifeline to the governor. Quote, I think if people are scared of the fact that Larry Elder is going to become the next governor, they'll just vote no on recalling Newsom, said Randy Economy, an early organizer of the recall effort. Sure, there's a concern. Controversy surrounding Elders throwing an 11th hour curveball into the months-long effort by Republicans to boot Newsom. So basically what's going on is the reason why Newsom is in such a close race is because of Democratic voters' apathy. And so apathy is just generally not caring about politics and not really being interested in it, not taking part in it. And so what you see is in the registered voters poll, he's always leading by like 12 to 14 points. But registered voters are not representative of voters who are going to vote. So that's why all the polls have to be likely voters, LV. Always look for LV when you're looking at polls for that reason. But once you go to the LV, it actually comes down a lot and it becomes really close, within single digits. So it's a lot of Democratic voter apathy. So now you have allegations from his ex-fiancée that he brandished a firearm at her during an altercation. Also that, there's some comments coming back about him saying that women's claims of sexism are exaggerated. But also, I don't think people really realize just how bad Larry Elder is. Like, Larry Elder is not like a John McCain Republican or something like that. Like, he is a super lunatic libertarian Republican is what he is. So he's not even really a Republican. He's more of a libertarian. And so he doesn't believe in a minimum wage. He doesn't believe in government regulations. He doesn't believe in climate change. These are all things that are Larry Elder. And so what Newsom needs to do is he needs to turn this into me versus Larry Elder. It needs to be Gavin Newsom versus Larry Elder. And so, in my opinion, all Gavin Newsom would have to do is he would have to run ads that show the polling numbers that show that Larry Elder is leading the pack. And then all he would have to explain is literally just put the videos of him saying stuff like he doesn't believe in a minimum wage in the video, and all the crazy stuff that he says because he's a libertarian lunatic. And at that point, you essentially will be able to convert enough apathetic Democrats to voting for you. You might even you might even get a couple Republicans to vote for you. I'm not saying it's going to be significant, statistically significant, maybe, but in this close of a race, maybe it'll flip. I have no idea. But that's all that he needs to do in this race, because that's the only reason why he's losing. So he needs to be honest to people. It's not even really being like deceptive in any way, because it is him versus Larry Elder. He is a libertarian lunatic. So that's just what you need to show to people. And the fact that he's not doing this is pretty bad, because it's a very easy way for him to win. And so they have some quotes from other GOP activists saying that, it's going to mess everything up. But I still think Newsom will prevail, especially if he decides to run those kinds of ads. But let me know if you got your ballot, how you voted. Let me know if you see any. I don't see any enthusiasm for the Remain people who want to keep Gavin in. There's almost no enthusiasm. But when it comes to, like, if you start driving up north towards like Sacramento and those areas, you'll see a lot of enthusiasm for the recall Gavin Newsom movement. You'll see on highways there will be like signs saying recall Newsom. There's a lot of enthusiasm when it comes to recalling him. But when it comes to the Remain voters, there isn't really any enthusiasm at all. So that's kind of what's going on in this race.